Beverly, do you have anything?
Well, I wanted to answer the last question.
Okay.
It's for the same reason that black people call each other niggers all the time, but we don't. We aren't supposed to do that. It's their image, it's their school. And if they choose to use their own indigenous...
I don't want to have to adjourn this meeting. I really want the board to be able to finish their comments here, please. Go ahead, Beverly.
I think I'm going to hold this. Can I hold this? Can I get this forward?
Quiet, please.
You know, I see, well, as a newcomer, I've only been here 34 years, only owned a house for 32, had 3 children through the Carpinteria school system, but I wasn't born here, sorry. That seems to be...
I'm going to ask some of the deputies to start removing people who are yelling, please.
That seems to be a major credential. I've thought about this. I've thought about nothing else but this for the last, since the vote. And I'm really surprised at the response of the students. And I'm even more surprised at the response of the parents. I feel like I'm invited here to a public lynching. So if you're showing respect, I'm not getting very much of it. First of all, we have been very, very scrupulous about obeying the Brown Act, insofar as if you discuss this with one person on the board, you may not discuss it with another person on the board. And we have kept to that. But we read about ourselves in the paper, about all these things we've said and done, and how we're, you know, anti-school, and we're, you know, it's really been, you've been whipped up to have a position where you all sit there and back each other. I do believe, I think it's probably pretty clear to me that I'm going to be recalled.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
And I would like you to give me the courtesy of hearing where I come from. I think it's wonderful to be in Carpinteria, born and raised in Carpinteria. I wish I had been born and raised in Carpinteria. But I know that the people here have the biggest heart, the most loving children. You know, when the hill fell down and 10 or 11 people were killed and their families, some of their families were left, they were snapped up by Carpinteria in a heartbeat. And I know that if you could understand what they're telling you, what the Native people are telling you about how it puts a lid on their aspirations, it puts a lid, subtle or not, on the way they are viewed and the way they view themselves. And in this particular case, the prevailing population killed off 95% of the Native American people. And they're asking to have control of their own images, and it really is there. But people don't really know it, I guess, until they can maybe feel the lash themselves. But what I know is there's a lot of people in the audience that are harboring terrible, bitter feelings about their experience at the Mexican school, Elisa. So I've been to the Museum of Natural History.
Quiet, please.
The Carpinteria Museum to read and review what everyone went through. And I hope that you will consider that we're in a whole nation process of moving toward one nation, indivisible. That means undivided. These people are divided by their feeling that they are being abused, and it does cause them pain. I think, although I feel a little bit like a target up here, I want to tell you that the pain you feel is severe. It's a serious pain. And I'm sorry any of us have to have pain. But when a culture has a massive wound, it collects in the culture. And you have a bag, and as the wounds go along, the bag gets fuller and fuller and fuller, and pretty soon you can't walk, and pretty soon you can't raise your hand. I've had a little taste of that myself in that I was adopted and raised by gypsies. I don't know if you know about gypsies, but at 6:30 p.m. they had to be out of town. This is all the towns around here until, you know, a long time, 50s even. I know the impact up close on people who've had to endure humiliation, defeat, this kind of intense pain, which when I look at the pain and you consider for one moment the pain that comes from being an original descendant on this planet and having all this done to you. I mean, if we hadn't done all this, the room would be full of chumash and probably would be okay to have the feathers in the headdress because they'd all be chumash to begin with. When Hitler...
Quiet. Quiet, please. Quiet, please.
When Hitler killed 6 million Jews in Dachau, and we've done a genocide, by the way. It is a genocide that we have done to the Native American people. When Hitler killed 6 million Jews, he also decimated the gypsy population of Europe to even a larger extent in terms of the percentage. And I've seen how incapacitated it makes the gypsy people to this day. To this day. What are we asking you to do? We don't want you to give up spirit. Spirit is not in a thing. We're asking you just to upgrade the image so as not to offend.
I can't see what's going on back there.
I can't see what's going on back there. So as not to defend your own students in your own population. Given the circumstance and given a historical perspective, which I would hope you would have, I know that you wouldn't carry on like this about what will be done. If it's not done now, it will be done later. I think we should move together to heal this. You know, well, everybody's facing the back of the room. How splendid is that? Okay.
I can't stop them from doing that, Amrita.
Okay, I have a lot to say, but I'm going to say one more thing. If we took care of each other with the love and loyalty given to the warrior mascot, we would all be living in heaven right now.